This bill will not apply to the House of Representatives. It will only apply to the United States Senate. The House can take care of its own business.
They are planning it again, right under our noses. And nobody is talking about it. Think about it. We are marching right toward the midterm elections. The stakes have never been higher. And what is the establishment's favorite weapon when they want to trigger absolute chaos and blame it on us? A government shutdown. Drop a 1 in the comments right now if you are sick and tired of the DC elites using our country as a political football. Seriously, go do it right now, because what Senator John Kennedy just exposed on the Senate floor should make every single hardworking American furious. Let's look at the tape.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in a few minutes, we're going to be voting on Senate Resolution 526. And I wanted to spend a few moments explaining what my resolution would do. First, it's a resolution. It's not a bill. This resolution will only affect the United States Senate. It will not affect the United States House of Representatives. Very simply, this is what my resolution would do. When we shut down government, and by that I mean, of course, when Congress, House and Senate, refuses to provide funding for an agency in government, in some cases all of government, and those agencies or all of government, as the case may be, have to shut down. That means that federal employees, for the most part, aren't being paid. My resolution would require, or stipulate rather, that senators wouldn't be paid either. It's called shared sacrifice. Now, I want to be clear so my colleagues understand exactly what this resolution would do. Because I've worked hard to get the votes to pass this, and I've had to make a few accommodations. First, a senator would not lose his or her salary. The money would be escrowed. The senator's salary just would not be available to that senator while we're in a shutdown. But once the shutdown is over, you'll get your money. Number two, again, to repeat, this bill will not apply to the House of Representatives. It will only apply to the United States Senate. The House can take care of its own business. Because of the 27th Amendment, and in order for my resolution to be constitutional, the resolution will not take effect until the day after the midterm elections. The 27th Amendment provides pretty clearly that our compensation as members of the Senate, and the House for that matter, though this resolution doesn't apply to the House, can't be changed until after an election. And the Senate's election, of course, is midterms. If I were king for a day, I'm not, I don't aspire to be, but if I were, I'd make this resolution effective immediately, because I'm very concerned. I hope I'm wrong. If I am wrong, I'll apologize. I'm very concerned that my Senate colleagues on the Democratic side are going to try to shut down government yet again right before the elections, to try to create chaos to affect the midterm elections. If I'm wrong in that prediction, I will come here and apologize to every senator by name. But so if I could, I would make this resolution apply immediately. Frankly, if I were also king for a day and I wanted to stop government shutdowns, I'd do more than this. I would do two things. I would say that if government shuts down, a senator loses his pay. It's not escrowed, and you get it back later. You just don't get your pay. I would also say that you can't leave Washington. You can't go home. If you make people forfeit their pay and tell them they can't leave Washington, we won't have any more shutdowns. And everybody in this body knows that. But I can't pass that. I would if I could, but I can't. So to repeat one more time, all my resolution would say that if we choose to shut down government, you're not going to be paid. You'll get your money later, but while we're in a shutdown, you're not going to be paid. It's about shared sacrifice, Mr. President. I mean, what we have done this year in terms of keeping government open. Last October, I looked it up before I came to the floor. Last October, we shut down government 43 days. It's the longest shutdown in history. And we had FBI agents and National Park Rangers and CDC scientists. Our staff here in Congress, nobody was getting paid. And then 3 months later, after we finally got out of that 43-day shutdown, we shut down the Department of Homeland Security. It was shut down for 76 days. And this is all in 1 year. We ought to hide our heads in a bag. It's got to stop. Shutting down government, it should not be our default solution to our refusal to work out our issues and our differences. So that's what my Senate resolution will do. Vote how you want to. I'm not saying this is going to stop all shutdowns. As I say, if I were king for a day, I know what to pass that will stop them, but maybe this will help. So vote for it. If you want to, vote for it. If you don't want to, follow your heart. Be sure and take your brain with you.
Senator Kennedy just introduced Senate Resolution 526. It's a beautifully simple concept, shared sacrifice. He's saying, hey, if the House and Senate can't do their literal jobs and the government shuts down, federal employees don't get paid, so why on earth should senators keep pocketing our taxpayer money? But here's the twist. Kennedy knows how the game is played. He had to make accommodations just to get the votes. Why? Because DC politicians hate losing their lunch money. Under this resolution, their pay isn't gone forever. It just goes into escrow. They don't get it until the shutdown is over. I want to ask you guys a real question. Reply to this out loud at your screen right now. If you fail to do your job at work, does your boss just escrow your paycheck and hand it to you later? No. You get fired. But here is where the suspense builds. Watch this next part closely. Kennedy exposes the real timeline. Boom. There it is. The October surprise. Kennedy is calling it out right now. He is warning us that the left is gearing up to force a massive shutdown right before the midterms to weaponize the media, manufacture chaos, and flip the script. Remember what happened last time? Kennedy laid out the receipts. A 43-day historic shutdown. Then, a 76-day shutdown of Homeland Security. Border Patrol, TSA, FBI. The people keeping us safe were working for nothing while the politicians went out for expensive dinners in Washington. My favorite part of this video? Kennedy says, asterisk, if I were king for a day, I'd do two things. You don't get your payback, period. And you are locked in Washington. You cannot go home until the job is done. Amen. That is what I am talking about. If you lock them in a room with no AC and no paycheck, I guarantee you a budget gets passed in 15 minutes. But instead, we have a system where the ruling class faces zero consequences for their incompetence. Look, Resolution 526 is coming up for a vote. Kennedy told them, follow your heart, but be sure to take your brain with you. We're about to find out exactly who in the Senate actually has a brain, and who is terrified of losing their paycheck for a few weeks. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Kennedy's resolution goes far enough? Or should we strip their pay permanently if they shut the country down? Smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep your eyes open, folks. The swamp is scrambling.